Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Whitman and I'm the Assessment and Accountability Director here at the State Department of Education. In this vignette, I will be discussing the student, parent, and staff engagement and satisfaction surveys that are a part of Idaho's accountability system. Idaho introduced these surveys as part of the new accountability system the state had to develop under the Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA. The state accountability system the board and legislature approved included the student engagement survey for all students, along with a survey of parents and staff to get a broad perspective on engagement and satisfaction. All three surveys are scheduled to be administered in the 2020-2021 school year from February 15th through March 31st. Now let's talk a little bit about each of the surveys. The Student Engagement Survey is administered via the URL you see here. Students will select Idaho, enter in their login ID, which is their 9-digit state student ID, and the first 3 characters of their last name. The system then validates the student against roster information. The state submits an initial roster on behalf of schools based on the December IC data that districts upload. However, districts and schools may need to edit the roster after that point for students who have exited or entered later in the year. We will provide guidance on that process via an administration guide and administration webinar. Once their information is verified, students will take the survey. There are 20 questions where students are presented several response options describing how they might feel about a certain component of school. They select the response that best matches their perspective. Behind the scenes, each response is categorized as a different level of engagement. These levels are committed, compliant, and disengaged. And within each level, there are 2 sublevels. There are no right or wrong answers. At the end of the survey, students also have the opportunity to share any thoughts via a free response text box. The survey is designed to capture engagement in 3 different domains: behavioral, cognitive, and emotional. There are separate versions of the survey for grades 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. The topics are the same, but the wording is slightly modified in each version to be age appropriate. You may also notice some minor changes in the wording of the questions relative to previous years. Cognia regularly reviews the content for potential improvements to the survey to better capture student engagement. The Parent Engagement Survey is administered via district-specific URLs. We send these links out to superintendents prior to the administration window. Using the URL provided, parents select a specific school from a drop-down menu. Parents with students in different schools can complete the survey for each school. There is no verification procedure for the parent survey. Anyone with the link can participate. In the parent survey, users will see 9 positive statements about their relationship with their child's school. For example, my child's school principal is accessible. These questions were developed by Idaho's stakeholders. Parents rate their level of agreement with the statement from strongly disagree to strongly agree. There is also an additional free response text item at the end of the survey where parents can share their thoughts. Finally, parents have an optional set of questions where they can share information about how long the student has attended the school and their demographic information. Determining how to share the survey with parents is a district decision. Example outreach strategies include emailing the link to parents, posting it in a district newsletter, or making it available during parent-teacher nights. The Staff Engagement Survey is similar to the Parent Survey. It is also administered via district-specific URLs where staff members select their school from a drop-down menu. They can also select the district itself if they work in a district building or across buildings. There is no verification procedure. Anyone with the link can participate. In the staff survey, users see 19 positive statements about their school's culture, resources for student learning, and support for staff. These questions were also developed by Idaho stakeholders. As with the parent survey, staff members rate their level of agreement with each statement, and there is a free response text item at the end of the survey. Determining how to share this survey with staff members is also a district decision. We encourage broad participation. In the survey, staff members can indicate whether they are classified staff, certified staff, or other, so districts can disaggregate the responses accordingly if of interest. Once the surveys are complete, there are several ways to access the results. First, you can always access your results locally using the eProve system. This site is available via the URL you see here. In this site, districts and schools can see how many students, parent, and staff members have participated and download reports. One note, if you want to see the free response text from the student survey, you will need to contact me after the window closes. We will then share the results with you via a secure file transfer. In the future, we hope to have that built into the system, but for now we can provide the information upon request. Although you will be able to see individual student results if you request this file, the students will not be identified. Their responses are confidential. We have students participate using their EDU ID so we can link their results with the student information in IC for required federal reporting. Any files provided to districts or schools will not have this information. We will only contact you about an individual student if he or she writes something in the free response text box that triggers an alert based on references to violence, self-harm, or other concerning content. You can also find summarized results for the 3 surveys on the school report card at the URL you see here. We report out overall student engagement and engagement percentages in the 3 domains: cognitive, behavioral, and emotional. For each domain, students are identified as committed, compliant, or disengaged based on the response type that was most common for them in that section of the survey. The overall engagement percentage is an aggregate we produce using business rules you can find on the SDE website. We also report out overall parent and staff engagement and satisfaction. These percentages are based on the number of strongly agree or agree responses to the questions divided by the total number of responses. In addition to reporting, we use the student survey results for school accountability identification calculations among what we call K-8 schools. This includes any school that is not a high school or alternative high school. We compare these K-8 schools on multiple metrics of performance, including student engagement. The survey results are 10% of a composite score used to identify the bottom 5% of schools for support. Schools in this category are identified as Comprehensive Support and Improvement Underperforming Schools, or CSI Up. ESSER requires that one of the components used for identifying schools for support and improvement be non-academic. We report the student engagement survey results for other school types, but they have a different metric, college and career readiness, as the school quality indicator for their CSI Up formula. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to contact me at any time if you have questions about the surveys or any other topic.